Hello champions, welcome to Selection IAS, a unit of Hum Honge Kamyab NGO, New Delhi. Vijayanagar Empire is one of the most favorite topics of UPSC. It's like Buddhism and Jainism. Means every year there has to be a question from this part in the prelims examination. And also for the mains examination, it's really a crucial topic. So the focus will be more on the important sources, contribution of Vijayanagar Empire in the cultural development of India, right? Their economy and administrations. Okay. So there is a vast and significant contribution by Vijayanagar Empire in all these spheres. So let's begin with the sources. Basically, there were 4 dynasties in the Vijayanagar Empire. It was a kingdom, okay, in which mainly 4 dynasties ruled: Sangama, Saluva, Tuluva, and Aravidu. They ruled Vijayanagar Empire from 1336 to 1672, right? In 1336, it was established by 2 brothers, Hariyar and Bukka. And it was contemporary to Delhi Sultanate as well as later the Mughal Empire in northern India. The sources for the study of the Vijayanagar Empire are varied, such as literary sources, archaeological sources, numismatics also. Numismatics is nothing but a study of coins. And apart from this, we have some literary sources like Raja Krishna Dev Raya. He was one of the most significant ruler from this Vijayanagar Empire. He himself was a scholar, a great scholar. So he wrote Amukta Malyada in Telugu. Apart from this, Ganga Devi's Madhura Vijayam and Allah Sani Pedanna, who was a Telugu scholar, he wrote Manu Charitam. So please remember, these are important literary sources, right? Amukta Malyad by Krishna Dev Raya, Madhura Vijayam by Ganga Devi, and Manu Charitam by Pedanna. Okay, these are indigenous literary sources. Why indigenous? Because you see, there were so many different international travelers who visited India, especially in the Vijayanagar Empire, right? So they also have written so many things about that. We will discuss that part and later on. Many foreign travelers like Moroccan traveler Ibn Battuta, Venetian traveler Niccolo di Conti, Persian traveler Abdul Razak, and Portuguese traveler Domingo Paes. Please remember, sometimes in the examination, UPSC asked this, okay, that this is the list of foreign travelers, okay, and this is the list of countries from where they belong, okay. This is something which is also clearly mentioned many times in the boxes of class 12th new NCERT for the medieval history, okay. So please remember this part. Ibn Battuta from Morocco, then Venetian traveler Niccolo di Conti, Abdul Razak was from Persia, and finally Domino's Paes from Portugal. They were among them who left valuable accounts on the socio-economic conditions of the Vijayanagar Empire. Apart from this, we have inscriptions like Sri Rangam copper plates of Dev Rai II. He was again one of the important ruler from the Vijayanagar Empire, which provides the genealogy and achievements of Vijayanagar rulers. Apart from this, Hampi is a place in Karnataka region. It was capital of the Vijayanagar Empire, and also this is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This is why it becomes very important. In the end of this class, we will discuss separately about Hampi and its architecture. Okay. So the Hampi ruins and the other monuments that we will discuss later on. So they also provide information on the cultural contributions by the Vijayanagar empires. We have numerous coins which contains figures and legends explaining their titles and achievements. So this is the map of the Vijayanagar Empire. You can see it. It was mainly concentrated in the southern India, right? And eastern India also, till this Odisha region, right? And this is the Hampi, situated in Karnataka region, right? Which was the capital of Vijayanagar Empire. Vijayanagar Empire was also contemporary of Bahmani Sultanate. which was the first Muslim kingdom in South India, right? Now let's begin with the political history of Vijayanagar Empire. So basically it was established by two brothers, Hariyar and Bukka. They founded this Vijayanagar Empire in 1336 and they were from Sangama dynasty. It was the first dynasty to rule in the Vijayanagar Empire. So basically they were under Kakatiya rulers of Warangal originally, right? These two brothers, they served under the Kakatiya rulers of Warangal in Andhra Pradesh. But later on, by 1336, they established their own kingdom, that is the Vijayanagar Empire. They proclaimed their independence and founded a new city on the south bank of the Tungabhadra River. Remember this, Tungabhadra River, right? Because it was asked in 2018 examination and the statement mentioned about Mallaprabha. It was not Mallaprabha, it was Tungabhadra River. Okay. And the city was known as the Vijayanagar Empire. The name of the city was the Vijayanagar and the empire was called the Vijayanagar Empire. The meaning of this Vijayanagar is the city of victory. Vijay means victory, Nagar means city. Okay. So the Vijayanagar was a city, okay, founded on the bank of Tungabhadra River. Nothing else, not like Mallaprabha. Is that clear? Which was asked in UPSC prelims examination. The decline of the Hoysala kingdom enabled Hariyar and Bukka, two brothers, to expand their newly founded kingdom. By 1346, they brought the whole of Hoysala kingdom under their control. So before the Vijayanagar Empire, there was dominance of Hoysala kingdom in the region. Okay, but by that time, this Hoysala kingdom, they started to decline, and therefore these two brothers, Hariyar and Bukka, they took the edge and founded the Vijayanagar Empire, and finally by 1346 they brought the whole of Hoysala kingdom under their control. Can you imagine, just a newly established kingdom 10 years back only, right, in 1336, and they captured whole part of Hoysala kingdom. So it shows how ambitious the rulers were. They even destroyed the Madurai sultans, Madurai in Tamil Nadu region. As a result, the Vijayanagar Empire comprised the whole of South India up to Rameswaram in Tamil Nadu region. Okay, who is one of the most significant, well-known personality from Rameswaram? Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, sir. Just another fact. Okay. Yeah. So this was the city, the Vijayanagar Empire. Okay, the Vijayanagar city. So you can see in the picture only, right, how magnificent it was. In the later part of the class, we will certainly discuss their cultural contributions in all the architecture, their contribution in architecture, in monuments development, in temple architecture, and so on, right? Because that is very, very important. The conflict between the Vijayanagar Empire and the Bahmani kingdom. You remember in the previous section, we discussed about the Bahmani kingdom. It was contemporary of the Vijayanagar Empire. Okay. So it was established in around 1347 only, after 10-11 years of the Vijayanagar Empire. Okay. And it was established by Alauddin Bahman Shah, also known as Hassan Gangu. Right. So this is something that we have covered in the previous class. Okay. So all the time they used to have in conflicts with each other, right? The dispute over Raichur Doab. Let me show you the map again. Yeah, can you see this? This is the Raichur Doab, the northern part of Hampi region, right? Raichur Doab, right? So it was a main area of conflict between these two sultanates, the Vijayanagar Empire and the Bahmani Sultanate. So basically, why this is called a Doab? Because this is the region between the rivers Krishna and Tungabhadra. Okay. And also over the fertile areas of Krishna Godavari Delta led to this long drawn conflict. So this was major reason for the conflict between Bahmani Sultanate and the Vijayanagar Empire. Please remember this, okay? The Raichur Doab, which is a region between Krishna and Tungabhadra rivers. And the second was the fertile areas of Krishna Godavari Delta. The greatest ruler of the Sangama dynasty was Dev Rai II. After this, there was a new dynasty known as Saluva. Earlier it was Sangama dynasty. The next dynasty is Saluva dynasty, which was founded by Saluva Narasimha. Okay, reigned only for a brief period from 1486 to 1509. Now, let's study about the Raja Krishna Dev Rai, okay, who ruled the Vijayanagar Sultanate from 1509 to 1530. He is the most important and significant ruler from the Vijayanagar Empire. Okay. So, as I told you, that after this Saluva dynasty, the Tuluva dynasty, Taluva, was founded by Veera Narasimha. Okay. And the greatest of the Vijayanagar ruler was Krishna Deva Rai. Please remember, the first dynasty was Sangama, second is Saluva, then we have Taluva. So Raja Krishna Deva Rai belonged to the Taluva dynasty only. He actually possessed great military ability. His imposing personality was accompanied by high intellectual quality. He was not only having military skills, but at the same time, he was one of the highest scholars of that time. The Muslim armies, let's talk about some political achievements of Raja Krishna Deva Rai. The Muslim armies were decisively defeated in the Battle of Divani. Remember this Battle of Divani by Raja Krishna Deva Rai. So in which he actually defeated Muslim armies. After this, he invaded Raichur Doab, which was a region of conflict between Vijayanagar Sultanate and the Bahmani Sultanate. Sultanate is nothing but an Urdu name of empire, okay? Samrajya, empire, Sultanate. Then he invaded the Raichur Doab, which was a region between Krishna and Tungabhadra river. So which had resulted in the confrontation with the Sultan of Bijapur, Ismail Adil Shah. Okay. But Krishna Deva Raya defeated him also and captured the city of Raichur in 1520 from Bijapur. Okay. From there, he marched on Bidar and captured it. Krishna Deva Raya's Odisha campaign were also successful. This is why we call it, he was one of the most successful and significant king from the Vijayanagar Empire. Okay, not only just because of his political achievements, because he captured Raichur Doab. Okay, he in fact defeated Sultan of Bijapur, right? He in fact captured Bidar and Odisha also. But apart from this, his contribution in the architecture and culture, okay, this is what made him the greatest of all kings of the Vijayanagar Empire. He even defeated the Gajapati ruler Pratap Rudra and conquered the whole of Telangana. So Pratap Rudra was a king of Telangana. He maintained friendly relations with the Portuguese, right? This was the time when you see in 1498 only the coming of Vasco da Gama in India, who founded a new route to India, right, from Europe. So this was the same period. So he maintained friendly relation with the Portuguese. And if you remember, in modern history, you must have studied about Albuquerque, right? He was the second Portuguese governor in India, right? So in fact, Albuquerque sent his ambassadors in the court of the king of Vijayanagar Empire, that is Raja Krishna Deva Rai. So basically, Krishna Deva Rai was a Vaishnavite by religion, but he respected all other religions. He was a great patron of literature, art, and he was also known as Andhra Bhoja. Please remember this, Andhra Bhoja, right? So this is the title given to him, Raja Krishna Deva Rai. And the 8 eminent scholars in the court of Raja Krishnadev Rai, there were 8 eminent scholars, popularly known as Ashtadiggaja. Ashtadiggaja, it means 8 eminent scholars. Alasani Pedanna, he was a Telugu poet and was the greatest among those scholars, Ashtadiggajas. He was also called the Andhra Kavita Pitamaga. His important works include Manucharitam and Harikatha Saram. Please remember this, because on important sources from ancient and medieval history, UPSC asks questions. Okay, so you should know that Manucharitam and Harikatha Saram was written by Pedanna, and he was a Telugu scholar in the court of Raja Krishnadev Rai, who was a king of Telugu dynasty in the Vijayanagar Empire. All right. Apart from this, Raja Krishnadev Rai, he himself authored some books. For example, his Telugu book was Amukta Malyad. And apart from this, he was also a scholar of Sanskrit. In Sanskrit, he wrote Jambavati Kalyanam and Usa Parinayam. Remember this part. Jambavati Kalyanam and Usa Parinayam and Amukta Malyad. These are works of literary works of Raja Krishnadev Rai. He repaired most of the temples of the South India. At the same time, he also built famous Vitthal Swami and Hajara Rama Swami temples at the Vijayanagar. Okay. So this is the picture of Vitthal temple located in Hampi. And this is the right side. This is the picture of Hajara Rama temple. Both these were built by Raja Krishnadev Rai. In the architecture part, we will further discuss in detail about this. Raja Krishnadev Rai also built a new city called Nagalapuram in the memory of his queen Nagala Devi. Besides, he built a large number of Rai Gopurams. Now, temple architecture is another topic which is again favorite of UPSC, right? After the Gupta Empire only, we saw the rise of temple architecture in India, right? And the contributions of different kingdoms like Chola kingdoms, okay, the Vijayanagar Empire, okay. So basically, this is something that UPSC asks, right? In art and culture part, you study about the Dravid style of architecture, the Nagara style of architecture, right? So in which UPSC asks questions like, okay, what is Vimana, what is Rai Gopurams, what is Kalyana Mandapam? So all these are related to temple architecture only, right? So when we see the contribution of the Vijayanagar Empire in the temple architecture, then the most important contribution was Rai Gopurams. Now, what do you mean by this Rai Gopurams? So these were nothing but the gateway of temples, right? So you can see in the picture also. So it's like this is just a gateway, okay, a very, very long gateway, right? These were called Rai Gopurams. After his death, Achyuta Deva and Venkat succeeded the throne. And during the reign of Rama Rai, the combined forces of Bijapur, Ahmednagar, Golakunda, and Bidar defeated him at the Battle of Talikota in 1565. This battle is also known as Rakshas Tangadi. All right. So basically, you just saw that after the demise of Raja Krishnadev Rai, okay, during the reign of Rama Raya, all the Muslim kingdoms of Bijapur, Ahmednagar, Golakunda, and Bidar, okay, these are also known as Deccan Sultanates, right? So they all combined their forces and they had a battle with King Ramaraya with the Vijayanagar, right? So the battle is known as basically the Battle of Talikota in 1565. And this battle is also known as Rakshas Tangadi. Now, the question is why this battle is important? Because after this battle, we saw the decline of Vijayanagar Empire. Okay. This is why this battle becomes important. Rama Raya in this battle was imprisoned and executed. The city of Vijayanagar was destroyed. This battle was generally considered to mark the end of the Vijayanagar Empire. Okay, remember this. Battle of Talikota, also known as Rakshas Tangadi. Okay, it actually led to the end of the Vijayanagar Empire. However, the Vijayanagar kingdom existed under the Aravidu dynasty for about another century, but it was a very weak kingdom. Okay, not like its earlier significance. Tirumala, Sriranga, Venkata II were the important rulers from this Aravidu dynasty, and the last ruler of the Vijayanagar kingdom was Sriranga III. Okay, so it was all about the political history of the Vijayanagar Empire. So we actually did an analysis of all the political achievements of different scholars under the Sangama, Saluva, Taluva, and Aravidu dynasties. Now let's come to the most important part, one of the most important part, that is administrations. Okay. Here I would suggest you please focus on the keywords, because UPSC is very fond of asking questions on keywords. For the example, from Delhi Sultanate, Mughal Sultanate, okay, and also from keywords from ancient history and medieval history. Okay, they ask questions on keywords. Okay, so please focus on that part. So number one, the king enjoyed absolute authority in executive, judicial, and legislative matters. It means it was a highly centralized administration. The king was assisted by a council of ministers in his day-to-day administrations, and he was the highest court of appeal. Okay. The succession to the throne was on the principles of hereditary. Okay, it means simply the power, okay, being transferred from father to son only, right? From father to son only. The empire was divided into different administrative units called mandalams, naduj, sthalas, and finally into gramas. Okay, so and the governor of mandalam was called the Mandaleswara or Nayaka. Okay, so the whole kingdom was divided in many administrative units. Okay, grama, which was a kind of a village, right? And after that, sthala, then nadus, and then mandalams. Mandalams were simply like provinces. Okay, so the empire was divided in many mandalams, and these mandalams were further divided in many nadus, and these nadus were further divided in sthalas and gramas. Okay, sthalas were nothing but a group of grams, a group of villages. So the governor of mandalam was Mandaleswara or Nayaka. Land revenue was fixed generally at 1/6 of the produce, right? And the expenditure of the government includes, that's the basic things. Okay, the expenses of the king, the charities given by him, and military expenditure, and so on, right? Which is common for any XYZ dynasties or kingdoms, right? So remember this part, 1/6 of the produce was the land revenue. Now let me tell you about the Amarnayaka system of the Vijayanagar Empire. Okay, that's the important point, and in fact we have question on this. The Vijayanagar army was well organized and efficient. The top grade officers of the army were known as Nayakas or polygars. So Nayakas or polygars were the top grade military officers. Fine. And they were granted land in lieu of their services. Remember this, Nayaks or polygars were granted land, not salary in cash. Fine. But soldiers were usually paid in cash. Okay. Soldiers were usually paid in cash, but not Nayaks or polygars. They were granted land. These lands were called Amaram. Okay. And this is why the whole system is known as Amarnayaka system. Amaram is what? Lands given as grants for their services. And Nayaks were military top grade officers. So this was the whole concept of Amarnayaka system. Now let me bring the highlights of social life during the Vijayanagar Empire. So as per the sources like Pedanna's Manucharitam, Pedanna was a Telugu poet, right? So according to his Manu Charitam, there was existence of Varna system during the Vijayanagar Empire, right? The society was divided in Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaisyas, and Sudra. Okay. So it was prevalent. Remember this, number one. Though this Varna system is an ancient concept, okay, but still it was prevalent. Second, we have so many foreign travelers, right, that we discussed in the beginning part, which have actually written so many things related to splendor of buildings and luxurious social life in the city of Vijayanagara. Silk and cotton cloths were mainly used for the dresses. Niccolo Conti refers to the prevalence of slavery. So slavery was another social evils which was prevalent during the Vijayanagar Empire. Apart from this, dancing, music, wrestling, gambling, cockfighting were some of the amusements, right? Mode of entertainments. The Sangama rulers, which was the first dynasty of the Vijayanagar Empire, they were chiefly Saivites, follower of Lord Shiva, and Virupaksha was their family deity. Virupaksha is nothing but Lord Shiva only, right? But apart from this, other dynasties were Vaishnavites, right? But all kings were tolerant towards other religions. Barbosa, another foreign traveler, referred to the religious freedom enjoyed by everyone. Muslims were employed in the administration and they were freely allowed to build mosques and worship. So there was not any religion-based discriminations as far as the Vijayanagar Empire is concerned. Now let's talk about the position of women. Unfortunately, the position of women had not improved. However, some of them were learned. For example, Ganga Devi, she was wife of Kumara Kampana, and she authored the famous work Madhura Vijayam. Okay, so in the beginning part also, if you remember, I told you that Madhura Vijayam is another important source to study about the Vijayanagar Empire, right? And it was written by Ganga Devi. She was actually a wife of a soldier, right? Apart from this, Hanamma and Tirumalamma, they were famous poets of this period. Now, according to Nunez was again a foreign traveler. So he wrote that about the conditions of women, a large number of women were employed in royal palaces as dancers, domestic servants, and planquin bearers. Paes, Domingo Paes, the Portugal traveler, refers to the flourishing Devadasi system. I hope you know about this Devadasi system. So it was like girls dedicated to temples, right? And they basically were indulged in dancing kinds of activities. Polygamy was also prevalent. Okay, polygamy, bahu vivah, it was also prevalent. And unfortunately, sati was honored, and Nunez gave a description of it. Okay, so why this part is important? Because Vijayanagar Empire was a highly magnificent empire, right? But there were so many social evils like sati system, slavery, the Varna system, okay, the lower status of women in the society. All these were prevalent. Okay. Now let's talk about the economic conditions during the Vijayanagar Empire. So just focus on the 4 to 5 points, like what was the status of agriculture. Okay, and if there is any important point like diamond mines, then that becomes important, right? And apart from that, we also have to talk about the foreign trades. According to accounts of the foreign travelers, the Vijayanagar Empire was one of the wealthiest parts of the world at that time. Wealthiest parts of the world, not only of India. Agriculture continued to be the chief occupation of the people. And one-sixth of the produce was the land revenue. New tanks were built, dams were constructed across the rivers like Tungabhadra. Nunez refers to the excavations of the canals. Okay, so this is something which is important because in Babarnama, which was written by Babur only, who was the founder of this Mughal Empire, right? He also wrote about the contributions of Vijayanagar Empire in the field of agriculture. Okay. So remember this part, dams were constructed, tanks were built, right? Diamond mines were also located in Kurnool and Anantapur district. So diamond was something which played a crucial role economically. And Vijayanagar was a great center of trade, right? This was not just a political city, right? But at the same time, it was a great center of trade. There were a number of seaports on the Malabar coast. Malabar means Kerala side, the western side, and the chief being Cananore. Commercial contacts with Arabia, Persia, South Africa, and Portugal on the west, and with Burma, Malay Peninsula, and China on the east flourished. The art of shipbuildings had developed. So all these were major points as far as the economic conditions are concerned. Now, this is going to be the most important topic. Okay, most important topic of the whole chapter, cultural contributions of Vijayanagar Empire. Okay, so please focus. Number one, the chief characteristics of the Vijayanagar architecture were the constructions of tall Rai Gopurams or gateways and the Kalyan Mandapam with carved pillars in the temple premises. So as I was discussing about earlier also, that there was a magnificent contribution by the Vijayanagar Empire in the temple architecture specifically. So in the temple architecture, they brought two different things, okay, two important things. One is Rai Gopurams, okay, those gateways, and the second was the Kalyan Mandapams. On Kalyan Mandapam, there was a question by UPSC in prelims examination in 2018. Okay, so let me show you so that you can remember in a better way with the help of pictures. So this is the picture of the gateways, okay, known as Rai Gopuram. So remember this. Rai Gopurams were nothing but the gateways of long gateways of temples. And the second was the Kalyan Mandapam. Okay, I have written for you. It was asked in UPSC 2018. So the Kalyan Mandapam were basically halls, right? It's like after entering into the gateways, that Rai Gopurams, then you have to walk, right? You have to walk for few meters, right? And you have to pass through a hall. Then only you can reach to the main deity of the temple. Okay. So these halls were basically known as Kalyan Mandapam during the Vijayanagar Empire. And this is the next picture is one of the example of temple architecture during the Vijayanagar dynasty. So remember the first part, Rai Gopuram and Kalyan Mandapam. Second, the sculptures on the pillars were carved with distinctive features. The horse was the most common animal found in these pillars. Large mandapams contain 100 pillars as well as 1000 pillars in some big temples. Okay, so these are sort of developments in the temple architecture during the empire. Also, many Amansians were added to the already existing temples during this period. Now, remember the names of some of the important temples like the Vradharaja temple, Ekam Prantha temples at Kanchipuram. This is Ekam Prananatha, I think, temples at Kanchipuram. And they are the beautiful examples of the magnificence of the Vijayanagar style of temple architecture. The Rai Gopurams at Tiruvannamalai and Chidambaram speak the glorious epoch of the Vijayanagar. Apart from this, the metal images of Krishna Devaraya and his queens at Tirupati are examples for casting of metal images. Okay, so remember this, the metal images were prevalent during the Vijayanagar Empire, and music and dancing were also patronized by the rulers of Vijayanagar. Different languages such as Sanskrit, Telugu, Kannada, Tamil flourished during the regions, okay, during the empire in the Vijayanagar regions. The peak of literary achievement was reached during the reign of Krishna Devaraya, right? We have discussed about this. And he himself was a scholar in Sanskrit and Telugu also. His famous court poet was Alasani Pedanna, was distinguished in Telugu literature, who wrote Manucharitam. So this was all about the Vijayanagar Empire, their political contributions, okay, their contributions in polity, economy, and culture, right? Now, in the end, I am going to discuss about the importance of Hampi, because this is UNESCO World Heritage Site. Okay, this is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Okay, this is why it becomes really important for all of us as an aspirants of civil services examination. And apart from this, it was capital of Vijayanagar Empire. Okay, so let's discuss. So let me show you the map again. So this is the map of Karnataka region. Okay, Karnataka. And here is Hampi, near the Bellary district in northern Karnataka. Now let's discuss all the important temples and architecture specimens at Hampi. So it was established in 14th century as the capital of Vijayanagar Empire, located in the Tungabhadra basin. Please remember this, Tungabhadra, not Malaprabha. Okay, and UNESCO World Heritage Site, right? Second, it was founded by brothers Hariyar and Bukka from Sangama dynasty, who also founded the Vijayanagar Empire. And the site has about 1600 monuments. 1600 monuments. Now next, Virupaksha temple. All these temples are at Hampi only. Okay, so Virupaksha temple, Virupaksheswara, basically Lord Shiva. It was the important deity of the Vijayanagar dynasty. Okay, and it is having a Rai Gopurams, the gateways. Next important temple was Vijay Vittal temple, right? And Vijay Vittal is Lord Vishnu, right? So this temple is dedicated to Krishna, one of the avatar of Lord Vishnu only. And the architecture of this Vijay Vittal temple is having a huge significance. Why? Because of the Saregama pillars. Okay, the large Ranga Mandap is a well known for its several musical pillars. So it is having several musical pillars, right? And these pillars are also known as Saregama Pa pillars, which are attributed to the musical notes emerging out of them. So that's the significance of Vijay Vittal temple. Remember this, musical pillars are at Vijay Vittal temple at Hampi. Next, the famous stone chariot. Okay, this is the picture of a stone chariot, right? Rath, right? The Vittal temple has a Garuda serene in the form of a stone chariot in the courtyard. So this stone chariot is only the part of Vijay Vittal temple only. And it is an often pictured symbol of Hampi. Next important temple is Hazara Ram temple. Hazara Ram temple, remember this? And it is dedicated to Lord Rama, Hazara Rama. Here you can easily remember Rama, related to Rama only. The next one is Achyuta Rai temple, dedicated to Lord Vishnu only. You don't have to remember all these minor informations. Okay, simply yeah, it is located at Hampi and dedicated to this particular god, right? Mahanomi Dibba, that's an important part because this is also mentioned clearly and discussed beautifully in class 12th new NCERT. It was built during the Vijayanagar period by King Krishna Devaraya to commemorate his victory over Udayagiri in Odisha. Okay, and it was here where the king of Vijayanagara used to celebrate the festival of Dasara. Hemakuta Hills. Okay, so these are Hemakuta Hills in the Hampi region only. Just remember these Hemakuta hills are located in Hampi and are famous. Sasivekalu Ganesha. So that's a beautiful picture of a Lord Ganesha, right? And it was erected in the memory of the King Narsimha II, the Vijayanagar Empire. So that's it. This was also located in Hampi only, right? So Hampi is definitely a beautiful city. Okay, that we should explore, that we should visit. Badavilinga temple. So it was a Hindu deity, Shiva is worshipped here, right? You can see this is Shivalinga. Okay. Narsimha temple. It is in one of the group of temples, okay, that stand on the Hemakuta hills only. And finally, the Lotus Mahal. This is the Lotus Mahal. Okay. So the Lotus Mahal is also called the Kamal Mahal. Kamal is nothing but the Hindi meaning of lotus. Or Chitragani Mahal. The Lotus Mahal was a part of Janana enclosure. Okay. Nothing that much relevant. Just remember Lotus Mahal, Narasimha temples, Badavilinga temples, Sasivikala Ganesha, Hemakuta hills, Mahanavami Dibba, Achyutarai temple, Hajararam temple, Stun chariot at Vijay Vitthal temple, Virupaksha temple. Okay, all these are specimens of temple architecture. Okay, at Hampi region only, and this is an UNESCO World Heritage Site. Okay, remember this point. So this was all about the Vijayanagar Empire. Okay, and Hampi also. Now, if you want to know more about Hampi, right, then there is a famous RSTV documentary, right? That's a very popular video on YouTube. So that you can find. I have provided you this link, right? So just click on the link and you will get the video. That's basically a documentary video on Hampi UNESCO World Heritage Site. Okay, UNESCO World Heritage Site. Okay, so RSTV, that's the Rajya Sabha television. You can watch that, right? And I will definitely recommend you to watch that. So this was all about the Vijayanagar Empire. Thank you so much.